Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we're going to continue our Let's Play tutorial for a fantastic game called Old World. And this is episode number 2. In the first episode, we had a scout, we had a military unit, we went out and we conquered some barbarians. And now we're going to pick up with tutorial lesson number 2. So let's go to Learn to Play. And let's look at tutorial number 2. This is the second in a series of tutorials to help you learn the basics of Old World. These tutorials will not cover everything in the game. I thought they told us they would. Now I knew better. But we'll walk you through the basics of ruling your nation. In this tutorial, you begin at the site of your successful battle with the barbarians from tutorial 1. You will found your capital on the city site and build up a basic economy. Okay, let's go. Let's see what it's all about. Okay, a place to live. Hello, Philip of Greece. You are the leader of your nation, or what will be your nation. You begin this tutorial at the city site you captured in the last tutorial. Your task is to found your capital and expand to 3 cities. You will develop a basic economy and research some technologies. You will also promote a unit, assign a general to the unit, and then lead that unit into battle. Wow, we've got a lot to do. Philip, are you ready? Now, I will stop right here and just say this game has characters. You can see right up here, it's blacked out now while we're reading, but all characters, okay? So we only have one character now, King Philip the Founder. There will be a lot of them, and they belong to families, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm ready to start building a nation. The capital. The capital is an important economic and government hub in the heart of your nation. Families are the leading clans of your empire with different dispositions and conflicting interests. They are granted control over your cities, for which their particular bonuses are important to consider. You are currently playing as Philip, the ruler of Greece. Greece has the Argead, the Cypselid, the Seleucid, and the Alcmenid families. When your settler is selected, hover over the family action buttons to learn what effects they apply to your cities. You may only choose 3 of the 4 families in any one game, so choose wisely. I will found the Greek capital. Okay, so now we're down to the map, and let's go down here and look. Now, this unit type is the settler, and if we click on them, you see over here settler. So we talked about military units, scouting units, this hammer here, these are workers or settlers, all right? So this is very helpful down here. You can cycle through the units, but you can also see lit up any unit types that you still have moves left for or actions left for, okay? So settlers are a unit type. Now, usually you're going to have to build those in your cities, but here they've just given us one. Okay, the next concept. This is an urban title or a tile. So if we look down to the bottom right, urban flat clear, right? If I go here, urban flat clear. Same here. This is where these little buildings are popped up here. So these are urban tiles. It is the only place that you can start building a city. You can't build it out here like you can in some 4X games. These are rural tiles, and you see here lush, flat, and clear. Those are used for building other types of things. But here is where you can found a city or do what is called urban improvements. Okay? The final concept here before we found our city is the families. And you see the 4 families over here. Now, we are playing the Greeks, okay? But each different nation or civilization type in this game has 4 of the same sort of families. You have a military family, and you can see the champions. They're called the champions. So the Argeads here are the champions. They give us bonuses as we look down there for training. So training up here, this is used to promote your military units, to build some military units, etc. All right, so you have a more militaristic type. You have more of I would call them cultural type here. The Cypsilids, they're artisans, okay? So these are champions, these are artisans. The artisans give you bonuses to culture. And you can see that there. They also give you other bonuses, and you can read through there. You know, they're better. You may want to put this family, for instance, near a body of water because their ship units get a bonus. Okay, just the kind of thing to think about. Then you have patrons, and patrons give you +2 civics. So civics. Now, civics are the kind of things you're going to use to kind of manage your empire, right? Culture is going to be to build up your culture of your peoples and build, I don't know, theaters, drama, that kind of stuff. And then finally you have the sages, and the sages give you civics and science. So you have civics and science, you have civics and culture, you have all culture, kind of double the culture there, and then you have military. And every nation starts with these four types of families. Now they have different names, but they give you kind of the similar bonuses, right? I would say when you're starting out, start with the military family. Okay, because you're going to want to defend yourself when you don't really know what's going on at the start. You want to make sure that you're getting those bonuses for military. As you get more experienced, you could play a more cultural type game, right? Where you kind of take over the world by culture. Or you could play one where you take it over by science. You just get so advanced that nobody could keep up with you. But I would say when you're starting, let's pick this family, and that will start to spawn more characters. And it has other effects that we'll get into. Okay, so we've founded our family, and when we get back on the map, you'll see that and what that looks like. Now that you've founded your capital, your people have a place to generate science. Science is spent on researching technology. So there is a tech tree here, and this is an intangible resource that you will build up and allow you to advance down the tech tree. Technology works like a card deck. I'm not going to read through all this. The basic idea is you get cards and you pick them. As you research further into technology tree, you will need to generate more and more science to research new technologies. It is important to not let other nations get too far ahead of you. Now let's choose the first technology to research. Technology hand will be shown next. Choose one of the three technology cards from your hand after viewing the options. The technologies you choose do not or that you do not choose will go into the discard pile. Okay, let's do it. Now we have trapping. Okay, and trapping will open up the ranged slinger here. So that's a new unit type, right? Last time we saw warriors. If we research trapping, we could then build slingers, or we could build a camp. This enables a trapper. It gives you a +20 for lumber mills. There are a lot of bonuses that are build on bonuses here, right? So you see +20% for an adjacent lumber mill. So if you have a lumber mill, you may want to build a camp next to it. And you start getting bonuses. You also get camels, elephants, game, and fur will be unlocked when you build a camp. Okay? It takes 6 years or 6 turns in this game to research trapping. Divination. Divination opens up shrine. So, first of all, this tells you all about divination and trapping, but then it unlocks things underneath it. So, these are the different bonuses that you get. It could also allow you to build different, shrines, get acolytes, etc. We'll talk more about that later. But this would allow us to start building shrines. And for Greece, we have a shrine of Zeus, a shrine of Hades, a shrine of Poseidon, and a shrine of Athena. Different nations, different cultures will have different types of shrines, but they have four basic ones to start building up your religion. And religion becomes very important in this game. Administration. Okay, this tells you, how much it's going to cost to complete, how long it will take. In this case, they're all 6 years. This would then unlock Treasury 1, which gives you certain bonuses, and a granary. Okay, so that gives you obvious bonuses there. Well, with the Greeks, which way do we want to go? I think I'm going to go with divination. So that way we can build a shrine while we're doing this tutorial. Okay, workers. So now we'll be researching divination for 6 years. Also, you can go into the tech tree, I'll show you this, and you can just queue them up, right? So that they'll research automatically when one is done. The next one will start. You can also target certain technologies you want, and the game will will let you know which selections will get you there as you go along. The worker. Now, this is a new unit type. The worker is used to build infrastructure in your nation. You will need many workers to support your economy. As a suggestion, you should consider at least one worker per city and a few extras to build roads. There are two main types of improvements, rural and urban. All right, so we've talked about that a little bit. Rural improvements include farms, mines, and quarries, amongst others. Rural improvements may be built on any non-urban tile, okay, and provide yields to your city. Resources such as wheat and ore provide bonuses when the correct improvement is built upon them. Mountain ranges provide a bonus to any quarry. Now, keep in mind, this game is all about min-maxing these bonuses. So when you see something like that, mountain ranges will want to build quarries right next to mountain ranges. Luckily, the game gives you little hints and guides to do that. Let's start by building the economy of our capital. To the north is a wheat tile. Move your worker onto the wheat tile and build a farm from the list of improvements. Okay, I will build a farm for my worker. And so there is my worker. Now you can see we have now founded this city. You can see that here. And our settler, you may say, where the hell did our settler go? He's just gone. No, a settler turns into a worker after they've settled a city. So this is our worker, this is our scout, these are our warriors. So those are kind of the main unit types we know right now, right? We saw settlers, but they turn into workers. And if we go down here, we could just click around, next unit. Oh, crud. I went past where I should have gone. That's okay. We'll look at this and we'll go back and build the wheat field in a second. Training is generated by your nation and spent on improving your units. A promotion is a great way to strengthen a unit. A unit may have more than one promotion depending on how much battle experience it has. Each promotion enhances a unit's ability in some way. For example, Guard 1 improves a unit's defensive strength. Let's give the warrior a promotion using some of our training stockpile. Select the warrior, okay. First of all, let's go back to our worker. So let's click here. And when we do that, that clicks us over to the hammer here. We can see we have one idle civilian units. Well, it's this. And it's giving us a red circle over here on the wheat field. So let's go build that. And as you know, I like to go one at a time, right? So we have 7 orders right now. We can move here. Yeah, let's go around let's go through town. Oh, it wants us to do it all at once. Okay, well, you can also do it this way. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. It's going to take 3 orders to get over here, so we'll only have 4 left. All right, there goes the worker. And when it gets on top of the wheat field, it gives you the hint here. It says you can build a farm. That's just something you start out with. You're able to build a farm. It would give us a +2 growth per year for, our city growth. Eventually that will pop out another civilian. All right. It gives us +10 food per year. And if we look up here at food, we have 400 to start with. Right now, though, we're -2 per turn. Now, we can buy or sell food, but we really don't want to do that, right? I mean, maybe sell it eventually. So we can either click here for this to start building a farm, or we can go over here and look. It'll take 3 years because the actions are always on top of whatever you're selected, right? So we've got the worker. You go up here, farm. It gives us +2 growth. We already saw that. +10 food. It also costs, that's going to give us 20 wood, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Um, it does. We get a bonus. Or no, I'm sorry. The construction costs us 20 in wood to build the farm. You can see there. So you can see wood is one of our tangible resources. Money, food, and then we have iron and stone, then we have wood, and we have orders here as well. So when we hover over this, you can see um, 20 wood is what it would cost. It costs us 1 order, of course, because to do any action in this game is an order, and it's going to take 3 years. So let's just click on that, and you can see our worker is starting to build a farm, and then it'll have this here, 3 years. This is telling you it's currently building all, and so you kind of know everything you need to know there. You may ask, what is this blue line here? This is the extent, I guess, of the power of your city. So this is where its influence flows out to. You can build other buildings, you can do other things, and that influence can get bigger. But we'll see that as we go along. So now we've got actions. We're still on the worker. We could cancel the farm if we wanted to. It would refund us wood. We do not want to do that though. All right. So now then we could either go next unit or we can just click here and it'll take us to our warriors. Now it told us we wanted to give these guys a promotion. How did we do it? Or how do we do it? That's with training. So training is the militaristic intangible resource. We currently have 400 in the stockpile and we're gaining 72 a turn, which is quite a bit. That's because we picked the military family to be, and you can see here, the Argiad family. It's shown over here to the left. This is also our capital city. It is named Pella. And we are currently building a settler here. Each city can be working on a new civilian, all the time. But the game will prompt you if you're not doing that. All right. So anyway, we want to give these guys a promotion. So we're on the warrior now, and if we look up here, it tells us commander leader. It tells us all of their bonuses or any penalties that they have. Okay. You can have them pass. You can have them sleep. You can have them sentry, where they only wake up if enemies get close, or you can disband the unit altogether if you want. You could also add a general, which we will be doing, but not yet because we want to promote these guys. And so let's look over, well, that's training if you want to read about training. But these are the different things we can promote this unit into, right? They can go, they can get Focus 1, Besieger, Ranger, or Fierce. All right, and we'll talk about more about those as we click the button. So let's give this a promotion. I left click that, and now you can read about what each promotion would do. Focus 1, and I'm going to lock this tooltip and go up here. What does this mean? Critical hits deal double damage. All right, so essentially these guys are going to be better attackers. They could eventually get a focus 2. It also gives them 100 experience points because if you look down here, they're currently level 1 troops. If they get 100, they'll be level 2 troops. It just makes them better, right? Besiegers, so let's get off of that. Let's do this again. Besiegers, they get a plus 25% attack. That's what that sword is into urban areas. If we wanted these to be a specialized urban unit, they get a plus 100 experience points again. It costs 100 training. It You can only do this once a turn. That's what that cooldown is. And if you do give them a promotion, you can't like attack anything this turn or something. They have to cool down. It also consumes one order. No surprise there. Rangers are better in trees, and Fierce is plus 10 combat, both offensive and defensive. If you look at this with the swords and the shield, it's attack and defense. Whereas if we look at something, well, that's offense and defense. Besieger is just offense because it's just the sword. So I think I'm going to pick Fierce, right? It gives them a plus 10% bonus against everything. And you can see they went up a level. And when you look down here now, they're level 2 troops and they'll be building towards being level 3. Now, your warriors or any other military unit, you can only promote 5 times. So just keep that in mind. And you will want to start specializing troops. So you may want some troops that are really good at fighting in cities that are besiegers. You may want some that are guards that can, guard your cities, so on and so forth. You can see the next promotion will take 200 training points. Now we have enough, but remember they're cooling down. So they're cooling for this turn. We can't promote them again until next turn. Okay, so we've done that now. And let's go on to the next unit, and that will be our scout. The world around your city is mostly unknown to you. What lies beyond the boundary of sight is a mystery. Scouts are great explorers, able to move and see a little further. You have heard rumors of barbarians to the east. Use your scout to explore to the east where the city site is rumored to be. East is to the right of your capital. Well, thank you for that. So here we are on our scout. Now, we only have 2 orders left this turn, so they can't get very far. He can go here with one order and here with two. All right, well, it said go to the east. There's a huge mountain here. I guess we could go southeast. I'm going to tell you, I already know it's to the northeast. So we're going to go up this way with our scout. So we've moved our scout here, and we now have no orders left this time. And that's the great thing about this game is maybe we really would love to do something more with the warriors, and maybe they still have actions left, or they don't. But let's just say that they did, but we can't do anything because we're out of orders, and that's why you want to keep building legitimacy. Oh, that reminds me. Last time I said we'll talk about this legitimacy, and I just wanted to tell you that whatever your legitimacy is, 14, you get a tenth of that for new orders. So 1.4 plus 1.4 as from your legitimacy, and then you get this plus 14 from family opinions, and we'll get into that more later. Okay, we have now used up all of our orders. There's nothing else for us to do, so the game automatically prompts us to end the year or turn the turn. All right, your warrior has been promoted. Promotions are a great way to improve the abilities of your units. Generals also give extra abilities to units. A character such as Philip can be assigned as a general to a unit, contributing their unique bonuses to the unit. Assign a general by selecting the unit, then clicking Add General. A general, with the exception of the leader, who may be added to any unit, must be from the same family as the unit. Well, that makes sense, right? So later on, when we have characters that are just generals, they will have they'll be from one of the four families. They can only lead troops that were spawned in their family cities, okay? Unless it's the leader of your whole nation. And that is King Philip the founder, he can lead any troops, okay? So you may say, well, he's sitting here in Pella. Well, it doesn't matter. He can go out and be the general for these warriors. So let's figure that out. You can see here the shield is lit up saying we have an action that we can do with the warriors. And if we go right up here to their various actions they can do, you can see add general. Now that will cost 100 training points, all right? So let's add general, and it will show us here the different people we could pick, the different characters. Well, we've only got one character, right? But he luckily is an awesome general. And you can see here his archetype is commander. Now, we'll talk more about that when we talk about characters, but essentially every character has an archetype, and that archetype is the bonuses that they will give you. So it'll tell you what their roles are best as, and you can see here can serve as general or ambassador. As a general, he gives you a plus 20% both on the attack and defense if the same unit is adjacent. We'll talk about that. As general, if leader, plus 50% attacking if flanking. So if you're attacking something from the side. He also gives 10 experience for all idle units, so even if they do nothing every year, they're going to get a plus 10 experience just because he's awesome. Okay, so anyway, those are the bonuses he just generally gives. But then you can go over here and see the bonuses he gives to the specific unit he's a general of. He gives plus 1 movement, so they get an extra tile that they can move per order, a plus 15% attack strength, a plus 6 experience points, okay? And so you can see all of their various bonuses here. So we're going to choose him and spend the 100 training to do so. Now we're down to 272. You have now given your warrior a promotion, and we did that last turn, and assigned Philip as general. Your warrior is now trained and ready for battle. As your warrior is currently on cooldown from adding a general, next turn use it to capture the city site in the east, the one we're going to find with our scout. Uh, this is about cooldowns. Adding a promotion or general puts your unit on cooldown. In the future, you will be able to move your unit before doing that, right? That's important because now that we've done it, we can't move the unit. They're cooling down. But we could have moved it first, then added the general. I don't know why in the tutorial they had you do it kind of backwards, but okay, sure. While you had to add a promotion in general to your warrior at the start of this tutorial, you may decide to delay those actions till later when your amount of training is higher. Well, nah, we want them to be good right from the start, right? Um, okay, let's go down here and go to next unit, or we could also just look and see here, the scout is the only thing we have left that could even do an action this time. Our worker is still building the farm. Okay. Pella, the city of Pella, is building a settler. So we'll go to the next unit, and there's our scout. He's out here in the woods. Now remember, scouts are hidden when they're in the trees, so always keep that in mind. They can also see further when they're on a hilltop or a mountaintop, so keep that in mind as well. So let's move them over here where it's temperate hill. Let's put them on a hill. They can see further. And we've spotted barbarians. You receive a message that your scout has arrived at the rumored barbarian camp. There's lots of activity at the camp. Continue exploring with your scout to map out the eastern area. Use the trees near the barbarian camp to hide your scout so that the marauder is not able to see and thus attack them. Prepare your warrior to defeat the barbarian camp. Okay, sounds good. So now you can see through the clouds. So we're a god. We can see the barbarians over here. No need to get the scout too close. He's now seen them. So we'll go over here on this hilltop. They still have, if you look here, they still have 3 actions left. We also have 9 orders left. Let's actually go back and get our warriors. I always like to do the military first because you don't want to get to a situation where you really need to move your military units and you don't have any orders left. So I like to use or move the military first always. And if you see here, we are on the warrior. If we scoot back, we could go here for 1 order, and then that's it. We can't go any further with. Oh, we can't go anywhere. I'm sorry. Duh. I just talked about this. They're on cooldown. And so when we select on them and we try to go out here, you see that red dot? That means we could do it if we wanted to, but only once, but we would have to pay what's called the forced march penalty. We don't want to do that. So it's very expensive to do that. Just always remember you can always move 1 more order beyond what is natural, but you have to pay for it. We're going to try not to do that. Okay, let's keep moving our scout then. So we'll be down to 8 orders if we go here. Okay, you can see the urban tiles here, the city site. So these barbarians occupy the city site in an urban hex here. Okay, and now we want to get these guys, as I said, into the trees so that these marauders, if we hover over them, can't see them. So let's just go up here. Let's go up here. He's now in the trees. That looks fine. He still has a move left, though. We could just keep going. Let's just go up here. We can get here and still have 6 orders left. Now, later on in the game or when you're playing your own game, you may want to save some orders, but, let's go to the extent. That's it, and so it pops up end year. Except that this guy is now on top of these goats. You see the goats? Now, I don't know if this is going to come up in the tutorial. I just don't remember. But we now have an action over here called harvest goats. So when your scout gets on top of these things, like here are sheep, you can see down in the bottom right, when it gets on top of them, it can harvest them. It's not as good as if you built later on when we have like a camp out here and we can hunt them or we can shepherd them or whatever. But you can, if you're a little low on food or whatever reason, you can harvest these for the cost of 1 order. So let's just do that. And that's even if they're out of actions. All right. So we just did that and we got 7 food, right? So our food will pop up by 7 and then we'll end the year. Okay, so now we're going to keep going here. Obviously, the warrior is going to be most important because we want the warriors to get over and fight these barbarians. So we're going to take them as far as we can, and you can see we start with 11 orders. If we march all the way over here, which is kind of the extent of how far they can go with their 3 actions. So if you look, these lines here are the ones that matter. one order, two orders, three orders. So now our warriors are over here. It cost us three orders. Okay, let's go to the next unit. That is just the scout. We could have the scout come over here. He can get on top of these goats, or sheep, I'm sorry. He could harvest those sheep. And then, do we want to keep going this way? Sure. Let's just see what else is over here. We keep, unlocking things here until you see the red. And they can keep going. They still have one action to go. We still have four orders, so I'm going to bring them down here in the trees. It's not like they can see him, or they can see him because he's in the trees. So okay, and that's it. That's it for this turn, and we end the year. You have now built a farm on the wheat tile. Building a farm will contribute food to your stockpile every turn. To the south of the capital, there's an ore tile. Build a mine on the ore tile to produce iron. Okay, so we go back down here, and you can see we've now completed the farm. And this farm will start to, crank out food at a higher rate, right? So we've done that, but let's do the military first, right? I said I like to do that. Well, let's actually do that. So our warriors are over here. They have three actions that they can perform this turn. It would only take one order to get right here next to the barbarian, so let's do that. So that will be one action and one order. Now you see they only have two actions left, and that did cost us an order. But now these are melee units, so we can only attack in the hex next to it. Let's do that. But before we do, look up to the upper left. You can see our warrior that has an attack value of 10. Why is that? Well, you see the base is at 8. The general gives them a plus 15%. We promoted them with fierce, so that is plus 10%. All told, then, they get an attack of 10. Meanwhile, the Marauders, the Barbarians, are the troop type Marauder. They have a base 3 defense. They get a plus 25% because it's urban and they are infantry, plus 20% because of the hovel they're in. So overall, their defense is 4.3. Well, we have a better than 2-to-1 advantage, right? So Philip the Founder and his troops are going to right click on them and attack. And you can see we hurt them 14 hit points there. We took off the barbarians. I believe we lost 2, and no, we lost 1. And you can see that here. Here are the hit points. We now have 19 of 20. All right. But we cause 14 damage. They cause 1. And you can also see the stats down here. Attack is 9.2, but they round up to 10. Our defense of these warriors' defense is 8.8, rounds up to 9. They can move 3 per order. Okay, 3 tiles per order. All right, well, you can only attack once per turn, and you can see cooldown attack. So let's go on to the next unit. That would be our scout, but we'll come back to the scout. Let's go to our worker. So this is the only worker we have. It's drawn a red circle here around the ore. And so let's go down here and we'll just go one order. Oh, it wants us to go all the way. It gets mad if I don't go all the way. But if you're just playing on your own and not going through the tutorial, 1, 2 orders, 3 orders. So now, and well, you can see it here, 876, right? It takes us 3 orders to get over here. So now we're over here. There is our worker who is now fatigued. So when it's fatigued, again, you could spend 100 training and get it to do one more action. It's called a force march, but I hate to do that. It's a real waste unless it's a military thing and you just have to, right? Um, Mine, though, now that he's here, you can do an action within the tile. So we're going to click on mine, and he starts mining. Okay, and we're going to build a mine. He doesn't start mining. He starts building a mine. A little bit different, right? Okay, we still have 5 orders left, so let's go over here to the scout. And you can see this is the edge of the map. You can see that because of the X. So let's actually start heading the other direction. Let's see, how far can we get? We can get all the way here past our farm and we'll head west, or let's go this way so we can go on the hill and we can see a little bit better. Landmark discovered. Mount Etna, you see there. So when you discover interesting things, you can get bonuses for that. So we got +1 legitimacy. Our legitimacy went from 14 to 15. Now you see his dots are red, so we would have to force march him to go any further. We don't want to do that, so let's end the year. And I'm going to call this an episode. I don't want these to go on too long. I want them to be 30 or 40 minutes long, and so we could do, we'll do a number of them, but I want them to move quickly. When we come back next time, we're building our mine here, we're battling the barbarians, and our scout is heading west. We'll also get a new settler next turn. So Pella has been building a settler. Usually takes 6 years, I think, to do a new civ out of your city here. So we will get a settler. Well, that's good because we're going to want to go settle this town. Anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. When I come back next time, we'll do all of that. Hope you're having a good time. I know I am.